Hello, friends! As a farming sim, the farming skill is usually going to be a big part of a Stardew Valley playthrough, but how do you know what kind of farming you should do? I've looked at a lot of crops in the past, but what about livestock? I asked my team of scientists to crunch some numbers and find out just how good each farm animal is for making money. In this video, we'll go through each of our furry, woolly, feathered, scaled, or mud-covered friends and rank them in terms of farming revenue. If you find this video interesting, please like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and let me know if there's any other topics that you'd like to see as well. And of course, if you appreciate the scientists as much as I do, please make sure to send some love for them in the comments. With that said, let's get into it. There are a lot of variables that can affect animal production and prices. Farming professions will play a big role, but there are definitely other factors too, and I'll make sure to touch on each of the animal-specific ones. To compare all of them as evenly as possible, we'll be looking at both the artisan profession path as well as the coop master shepherd path for each animal and calculate the maximum profit possible. This will include things like product quality, assuming level 10 farming, golden animal crackers where applicable, and processing the products as much as possible. We've also calculated a lower bound, assuming we just sell the most basic produce with no professions and no animal friendship. Keep in mind, this list is in order of maximum daily revenue, and if I were ranking my personal favorites, the order would definitely be different. Alright, with that out of the way, let's start the list. At number 11, we have ducks. This one came as a bit of a surprise to me. Ducks are the first animal to require a big coop. While duck eggs and mayo are more expensive than some of their counterparts, they only produce every other day, so they end up losing out over the long term. Duck feathers are also not as great as they seem. In fact, if you have the artisan profession, duck feathers end up being worth less than duck mayo, which means you're actually better off not leveling up friendship with them. How sad is that? You may want to keep ducks anyway. Their duck feathers can be used as a community center donation or gifts for Leo and Elliot. They're also really cute to have around the farm, and they have some unique behavior like swimming. Baby ducks follow the adult ducks, and of course, the distinctive quack. I always like ducks swimming around the farm, but unfortunately they aren't the best if you want to be swimming in gold like Scrooge McDuck. Get it? I'll show myself out. Rabbits. You'd think the third most expensive animal to purchase from Marnie that also requires a deluxe coop would be pretty high on the list, but rabbits are actually all the way down at number 10. Rabbits produce either one wool or one rabbit's foot every 4 days. Even at the maximum friendship and mood, you'll only get a rabbit's foot around 25% of the time though. Both rabbit products benefit a lot from being higher quality. With wool, it affects the odds of making multiple cloth in one loom, and the rabbit's foot is not an artisan good, so its value scales directly with quality. This makes rabbits one of the few farm animals where the Coopmaster Shepherd profession line actually beats out artisan, although it ends up being really close. Despite being low on the money-making totem pole, rabbits may still be worth your while, and I honestly prefer them in a lot of other cases. They're pretty low maintenance with the lower production rate, so you won't have to hop over to the coop every day, and their products may be more valuable than just the gold that you get from selling them. Both products can be used for the community center, and the rabbit's foot has a bunch of unique uses, including trading for permanent luck buff, acting as a great universally loved gift, and even saving yourself from a bunch of angry marriage candidates if you get too ambitious with Pelican Town romance. Apart from just being cute animals in general, they're also one of the least abrasive auditory animals when you're out and about on the farm. Long story short, probably don't just get them for the money, but if you want to rub them, pet them, squeeze them, and name them George, go for it. In the number 9 spot, we have dinosaurs. These guys are a little bit more rare than most of the other animals on the farm. You can't buy them from Marnie, so you'll have to find your first egg and then incubate it in a big coop or a deluxe coop. After seeing the Pepper Rex in Skull Cavern, you might think these guys belong in a barn, but don't worry, they actually stay small forever. They only produce an egg once every 7 days, so their output is pretty low. This also means there's a high cost for incubating and hatching more of them. Dinosaur mayo is the most expensive of all of the mayonnaises at 800 gold base price, but the low rate of production makes their mayo the worst for generating revenue per day. Before update 1.6, dinosaurs were easily the worst farm animals for making money, but since dinosaur eggs count as artifacts, the treasure appraisal guide power actually makes it more lucrative to sell the unprocessed egg in most cases. This means it's another animal where the Coop Master Shepherd route beats Artisan due to higher average egg quality. Raising dinosaurs is a choice for sure. They're not great for money, but they are another pretty low maintenance animal. They're definitely unique, and if you're going for a certain style on your farm, a dino coop could just be the aesthetic that you're looking for. Next up on the list is the Noble Void Chicken at number 8. These cute little goth chickens come from void eggs, and like the dinosaur, you'll have to get your hands on an egg and at least have a big coop to incubate it. You can get void eggs as a gift from Shane as a spouse, a witch event at night, or for 5,000 gold from our lovable shadow daddy, Crovis. These little guys are very similar to standard chickens other than the void aspect. They produce an egg every day once mature, which can be processed into void mayonnaise. The void mayonnaise isn't quite as valuable as a gold star mayo from a large chicken egg, but the void chickens get to their maximum revenue output as soon as they mature. Since they only have one egg size and egg quality doesn't matter for mayo, like the little emo chickens they are, they don't really need your acceptance or friendship. Without different egg sizes and colors, their eggs stack more nicely in your inventory than the standard chicken, which may be enough to outweigh the slight loss of revenue compared to chickens. Void mayo and void eggs are generally not well liked, but there are a few notable exceptions, including Sebastian and the Shadow Daddy himself. At number 7, we have finally reached the standard chicken. As the cheapest and likely first coop animal that you'll get, it may come as a surprise that these guys are one of the best coop animals. They produce an egg daily, which can be processed into mayonnaise. Chickens can be white or brown by default, with blue chickens unlocked via friendship with Shane. They produce white or brown eggs, which increasingly become large eggs as their friendship and mood increases. It can take a little while, but eventually all of the eggs will be large with a high enough mood and friendship. While daily egg harvests may get tedious, the frequent egg harvest will give the most farming experience, so this will be valuable early on. There really isn't too much special with the standard chicken though. They are generally good all around with their produce making good food, good gifts, and good community center donations. They are definitely a solid choice early on for the money and utility. Our first barn animal on the list is the goat at number 6. Goats produce goat milk every other day, which can be processed into goat cheese. To get the most out of your goats, you'll need to have unlocked the cellar where you can age the cheese in casks up to iridium quality. Goat milk and cheese can be used in the animal and artisan bundles, and goat cheese is a generally liked gift by most villagers. Goats are the least profitable of the barn animals, but their lower frequency production can be appealing for reducing daily farmer workload and improving efficiency of the cheese press and the cask versus the cow milk alternative. Speaking of cows, they take the number 5 spot on the list, right above goats. Cows are to goats, kind of like chickens are to ducks. The maintenance is higher with daily production, but the revenue ceiling is also higher. At about 40% higher revenue than chickens, cows sound pretty good, but there are some drawbacks. First, like goats, you'll need to have unlocked the cellar to reach their full potential. Second, until you have an auto grabber, you'll have to hoof it all over the barn to milk your cows every day and buy a special pail to do so. That's inventory management on top of mandatory chores. A chicken, on the other hand, will just leave its egg on the floor, so if you miss a day, no worries, just grab it the next day. You'll probably want at least one cow to fill out several donations to the animal and artisan bundles in the community center. Outside of that, I generally find that they require a bit more maintenance than I'm willing to dedicate before I have an auto grabber. At number 4, we have the ostrich. Ostriches can be unlocked after reaching Ginger Island, and they are the one egg-laying barn animal. They have the same egg-laying frequency as dinosaurs at 7-day intervals, making them pretty low maintenance once you get them incubated and hatched from their special crafted incubators. Making ostrich mayo is quite a bit more profitable than dinosaur mayo though. It makes standard mayonnaise like normal chicken eggs, but it makes 10 at a time. On top of that, the mayo retains the quality level of the egg, making these super efficient in the mayonnaise machine. The major downside is having to wait until you've had a lot of progress on Ginger Island before you can even hatch these. By that time, the 1,300 gold per day that you can reach per ostrich may not be all that exciting for you. Still, at the very least, they are a flavorful addition to the farm, and until you have auto grabbers in every barn, they might be the best low maintenance animal in the mid-game. Up next is sheep, which take the number 3 spot on this list. By default, sheep produce wool once every 3 days. You'll need to manually collect this with shears until you get an auto grabber, although at 8,000 gold per sheep and requiring the deluxe barn, you might already be able to afford one at that point. Sheep with high friendship will increase production every other day, and then if you have the shepherd profession on top of that, they can produce wool daily. Shepherd also boosts the wool quality, which affects the quantity of the cloth production in the loom, meaning sheep can get more out of this profession than any other animal. This also makes the shepherd beat the artisan profession by a long shot in this case. Artisan is a hard profession to pass up, but I've really enjoyed playthroughs where I purposefully avoid it, and sheep have worked out really well for me. With the auto grabber and shepherd, they are basically the best low-maintenance farm animals that you can get in the mid-game, as long as all of the bleeding doesn't lead to your ears bleeding. On the other end of the relevant spectrum, we have the gold chicken in the number 2 spot. Golden chickens lay a golden egg each day, which can be produced into 3 gold quality mayonnaise. Golden chickens are easily the best coop animal for making money, with a few caveats. First, to get a golden chicken, you'll need to have achieved perfection. At that point, you can buy a golden chicken egg from Marnie for 100,000 gold, you can buy one from Key's Walnut Room for 100 key gems, or wait for a lucky good witch event, where one of your normal eggs may be turned into a golden egg. If you're spending 100,000 gold for that first egg, this will take a while to break even. In reality though, money may not be why you're getting these anyway. If you've achieved perfection, you've probably already bought all of the big ticket items like the golden clock and the obelisks. If you're still after money at this point, you're probably just doing it to see big numbers. So yeah, the golden chickens are big money makers in the long term, and they're cool to see on the farm, but it is almost totally irrelevant for a lot of the game. Alright, it's the moment that you've all been waiting for, and the one that probably many of you expected. In the number 1 spot is pigs. Pigs are the most expensive barn animal to buy at 16,000 gold and require a deluxe barn. Pigs don't produce any animal products, so they don't benefit at all from the rancher profession line other than some small friendship gains. For the same reason animal crackers also don't affect pigs. Instead, pigs dig up truffles, which you have to forage. This means truffles benefit from the gatherer and botanist professions. It also means that you'll have to clear some space for them to roam around and dig, and you are responsible for finding and picking up all of the truffles. A maxed out pig averages about 3 truffles per day with adequate clear farm area to wander around. That's boosted up to about 3.6 with gatherer. Truffles are expensive on their own, but truffle oil is pushing 1,500 gold each. Pigs can only find truffles if they go outside, so winter is a complete bust, and any rainy day will yield nothing as well. Rain is not consistent from year to year or between save files or game seeds, but if we assume there are about 69 warm sunny days per year, the average daily revenue is still over 3,400 gold per day per pig. When compared to the rest of the animals, these numbers can make even the most stoic farmer squeal. Each barn full of pigs could average over 40,000 gold per day over the course of the year. With that in mind, they can be a lot of work compared to something like a sheep with an auto grabber, so I don't know if the choice to make a pig farm is totally cut and dry. Personally, I'm not a big fan of pigs, whether it be the extra foraging work, the aesthetics, or the noises that they make. I generally only get 1 or 2 for completion. Of course, if you want to hog all of the money in Stardew Valley, pigs are the way to go. Well, that's all of them, so what do you think? What animals do you prefer on the farm, and do any of these numbers change the way that you think about which ones to get? Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, or if there are any other farmers out there that don't care about money and will gladly get a coop for duck's sake. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, please give it a like and subscribe. Oh, and I'd love for you to come say hello to me over on Twitch. Until next time, goodbye!